our internship symposium, and we have 5 students that will be presenting their experiences, and we're going to go. Michaela Atkins is going to go first, and we actually have her supervisor with us, Dr. Sarah Beasley, so she's going to go back to work after that. So we'll go ahead and let them get started.
So I did my internship here at Concord University. I did a marketing internship with Sarah Beasley. And so a little background on how I actually got this internship was I was in marketing research. We had to do a marketing plan, and I decided I wanted to look into the retention rate of Concord. And with that, myself and Jack decided that it would be good for me to do an internship with this and continue the research. So I got in contact with Sarah Beasley, which happens to be the director of retention here at Concord, and we came up with an internship for myself, and it covered different aspects of marketing and different ways to touch on the retention rate and how to help improve it. So some of the benefits that I found were with the hands-on training that I got. With Sarah, she allowed me to make flyers and different stuff, and that just kind of eased me into it, and different ways of catching people's attention and like getting the information out there about. We worked with the Grip Center and different ways of marketing it. With making flyers, I was able to interact with the administration and different people with different personalities and different personalities and different needs. So that gave me a different aspect and looking across the board on how to market the Grip Center and different activities that we had around campus. So this gave me the ability to think creatively. I had to step out of my box and actually think of different things that would get people's attention and get them there, and what can I do to actually make people want to come to the Grip Center. So a little bit of the history of Concord is we were established in February 28th of 1872. They passed a branch in the Mercer County. There was no land, there was no buildings, and 5 families decided they were going to make this happen. The first class was in 1875 with 70 students. They were actually in 1887 they moved to where the Athens Middle School is. In 1895 it was enlarged. And in 1896, the town of Concord became Athens. And in 1910, the fire destroyed the school. 1922, it came to its present location. In 1918 to 1925, we got residence halls, gymnasium, and the upgrade of the academic program. In 1931, we became Concord State Teachers College. We got a full accreditation from nationals, and we got the President's House. With the President's House, we've had different overnight guests such as Lyle Thomas, Amelia Earhart, Will Durant, Carl Sandburg, Metropolitan Opera stars Susan Fisher and Muriel Dickerson. Oh, that's good.
Click on the bottom of the screen. PowerPoint.
Yeah. That one showing?
No.
I think he froze it somehow.
I hate that happens. Sorry about that.
When you move the mouse on the computer, it's not moving that.
Right, it's just
So it suggests that maybe they've frozen the image on the projector.
You don't see the mouse.
Just don't sit in those.
Is there a button on the projector remote that maybe you can't freeze or something?
restarting it. We'll start.
You can keep going, we didn't have a PowerPoint before.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get some stuff up.
All right.
Might as well.
Okay. So in 1931, we became Concord State Teachers College, and under the presidency of Dr. J. Frank Marsh, we got full accreditation here at Concord. And they also built the President's House, which have had several overnight guests such as Lyle Thomas, Amelia Earhart, Will Durant, Carl Sandburg, then the Metropolitan Opera stars Susan Fisher and Morel Dickerson. In 1943, we actually had a U.S. Army Corps 15th College Training Detachment where they trained Army pilots, and they got military and college credit for that. In 1959 to 1973, we got what we know now as the Student Center, the residence halls of Wilson, Waddell, and Towers. They had additional married housing. They did expansion to admin. They had Fine Arts Building, Witherspoon Park, Carter Center, Callahan Stadium, the Maintenance Building, and the curriculum expanded once again. So from 1959 to 1973 was a big year for Concord. We expanded so much to get the campus beautiful that we have now. In 1973, the West Virginia Board of Regents actually tried to get Concord and Bluefield to merge together, and that failed, but the administration actually merged for Concord and Bluefield together, so the administration was the same for the two, and 2 years later, the board made them separate. In 1973 to 1976, they had, yet again, an outstanding rise in enrollment, and they led to expand the curriculum once again. In 1985, we had Dr. Jerry Beasley, which was he got us the national recognition for their progressive efforts and multiple student organizations. One in particular I thought was great was the Bonner Scholars. They were here in 1985 and still are today. We also got the Beckley campus and the Masters of Teaching Education. They were in the development stages of getting the social work masters and the business administration masters. We have the social work today, but not the business administration yet. 2004, we became the Concord College, and in 2008, we had Dr. Gregory Aloya and got us the national leader in serving students and veterans. They increased the international student enrollment, and they increased full-time faculty. This led to the expansion of graduate programs, athletic teams, and library access. We also got the University Point, and the beautification of campus beautiful began. Concord's history has been long and prosperous. There have been ups and downs throughout the years, but Concord has prevailed. And they have flourished and built the campus beautiful that we know and love today. For the purpose of telling you guys the history, in order for you guys to know where we're going, you have to know where we came from. So when I went into this, I did a lot of research on Concord's history and actually looked into where we came from, what got us to where we are today. And right now it looks like Concord's not doing that great, but in the past you can see Concord hasn't done that great either, but they've prevailed and they got the rise of their enrollment, and that's exactly what we're going to do from now on too. So some of the work areas that I got to take part in were some creative, innovative, and professional areas. Creative ones were I got to do flyers, I got to create different aspects to get people to come to the Grip Center to work on their academics and to keep people here academically and to get them involved. The innovative was with the Grip Center. I did get a raffle going for the general population. We also got a competition entered for Greek Week for the Grip Center, and that involved the sororities to come into the Grip Center, and they did study hours there, and collectively from the 4 sororities they did 573 hours in 3 weeks. And then professionally, I'm working with Dr. Robinette and multiple of the professors in the division to create a business division flyer for incoming freshmen, for current students, and for anyone that's looking to come to Concord. So for some of the problem-solving things, the Grip Center, I didn't solve the issue, but we made a new pathway. So now we open the pathway for the different organizations to come in and use the GRIP Center to use the different aspects that we already have here on Concord's campus and to better their education and their academics so that they will want to stay here and be able to stay here. So things that we're actually working towards are community service hours to get people more involved on campus, to help the retention rate as well, and by doing a canned food drive for homecoming. So throughout the years here at Concord, we've been taught how to promote services and different things. And I think this gave me a tremendous leg up with being able to work with the necessary qualities to work independently on projects. And the marketing research that I was in gave me the background knowledge for Concord itself. And also the hands-on work that I got to do with Sarah Beasley helped me tie it all together. So in conclusion, I just want to thank the Division of Business for giving me this opportunity to actually dive into something that normally wouldn't happen. And to future business students, I hope that they take advantage of the opportunities that are here around us. Just because it's not an internship doesn't mean it can't be. And to be creative with things. Is there any questions?
Is the GRIP Center only for organization, or what exactly is the GRIP Center?
The GRIP Center is actually for anyone. It's open Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday it's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And on Fridays it's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can go in there whenever you want. They have computers in there. They have couches in there. It's like a quiet area for anybody to come into and study. It's like the library except for right here in Ray Hall. Any other questions?
Well, thank you, Michaela. When the technology goes down, you just got to keep going. So anyway, so I guess Ken, will you do that next? Who's going next? We'll get it booted back up. So thank you. All right, good job. All right, while we're trading out, I'll just take a minute. Just keep in mind, if you are interested in doing an internship, please talk with your advisor or come and see me. You can find the internship packet on our website. If you go to the division's website, it's under resources and students, and talk to your advisor or come by. And I'll put a little plug in. If there's a good accounting, finance person, they are actually looking for someone in the business office. So if you're a really good one and are interested, come see me, because they are looking for one. So that could be we've had a couple in the business office to do internships over the years. So there are things available right here on campus if if you don't want to get out. Quinn is going to do his now. He went and was at Disney for 8 months with the Disney internship. So of course he went to Florida, but you don't have to go all the way to Florida to do that if you're interested. So please come see it. I'll let him get pulled up there. Looks like the technology is working. Yeah, that's what it needed.
All right, then, as Dr. Robinette said, I went to Walt Disney World for 8 months. I actually left last May, just got back in this past January here. And how I'm going to kind of approach this is I'm going to talk about the opportunities that Disney offers, and then I want to talk about what I did, and then how the process works if you're interested. Basically for me, something that I think is important is I was not really a Disney guy when I went down there. Didn't really have any interest in it. My mom, my sister, they loved it. But it wasn't something I really cared about. I had some professors, had some friends say, yeah, it's very good. I think you'll enjoy it. So I gave it a shot, and I have to say it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. So program opportunities. First one I'm going to talk about is ESPN. A lot of people don't realize Disney and ESPN are affiliates. There's actually ESPN, Wild World of Sports. It's a sports complex there right on the property, and they offer merchandise, internships, and then there's one, it's a bit bigger than the normal college program that I did, and it's you chauffeur golfers, NBA players, and things like that through Disney. So if you're interested in sports, Disney has that as well. ESPN's a bit more difficult to get into. I never even applied for it because I wasn't in sports management or didn't have any sports education background. The second one is attractions. Attractions is basically anything that attracts people, whether it be roller coasters, shows, parades, anything like that. And these jobs can vary from holding a rope for a parade for 2 hours or operating, one of the roller coasters there. Attractions really is a very broad job. I know people, like I said, that held a rope for a parade for 8 hours a day, just stood there, nothing else. And I know people that operated all the roller coasters. So my job, I was in merchandise, I was in retail. That's actually the store I worked at. I'll be honest with you, I'll show you in a bit. The costumes and uniforms are horrific. They're absolutely terrible. I was embarrassed to wear them. Anytime I met somebody, I was like, this is not what I look like normally. So I worked at Mouse Gear. I worked at several different places. That was my home location, and I'll talk about deployment and different things in just a bit. I actually got transferred to the Food and Wine Festival. I was in retail with that, and then they paid for us to get our bartending license, and I've done that as well in the evenings through the festival. That was probably the most fun I've ever had at a job. You basically just sit there, guests coming up, they drink all night and just keep going. So it wasn't cheap, they're paying $9 for a beer or whatever, but you're just going to keep pouring it because that's your job. Parking, that's another big one for the college program. Little segues there, everybody loves them. Honestly, people, it's kind of misconceiving. Parking is actually very difficult. If you mess up parking, if someone's walking across the road and you let a car go, you get fired on the spot. It's actually a very stressful job, just like attractions. It's something I would never want any part of. One of my roommates worked in parking, and he only lasted 2 months. Another one is custodian. Pretty basic, really. There's good custodian jobs, and there's really bad ones. Some people get the bathroom. Some people get to sweep up the stores after the store closes. So it's kind of hit and miss with that. The person I actually lived in the same room as, he was custodian. He loved it. He was in the stores just sweeping, didn't have anything difficult, was able to hide and not do his job for most of the day. So that was good. And the last one, and the most popular one for the college program, is quick service food. As a college intern, you don't get to be a waiter. You don't get to do any of the tipped positions. However, anything, from popcorn stands to pizza stands, anything like that, that is the biggest college program employer. I bet there's at least 5,000-6,000 college program kids at one time, and then I'd say nearly half of them are in fast food. That's really how many people there are. They can't get enough of them because there's so many people that quit. It's a very difficult job, it's a very hot job, so they go through people very quickly. So the process is quite lengthy. It took me about 3 months before I finally heard back from them. The first thing is application online, then you do an online interview. The online interview is really a lot of multiple choice, and then there's a few short answer. What would you do if this happens? And then if you pass the online interview, which I thought everybody did, but that's not the case, you go for a phone interview. The phone interview is about 15-20 minutes. It's very stressful. I was really stressed out during that time, but they're very nice, and it's actually kind of weird because if you get accepted into it, there's an application for the acceptance. And it costs a lot of money to actually get accepted. It costs like $175 to accept your position. So the acceptance application is things like, what day do you want to move in? What was your 2 favorite jobs that they talked about? And then different things such as what housing, which I'll talk about, do you want to live in? So the arrival day, talk about this real quick. It's really the arrival week is very busy. It's a lot of meetings. You don't know anybody. And honestly, for me, I had a major language barrier in my apartment. There was 3 guys from Puerto Rico. 1 spoke English, the other 2 did not speak a lick of English. So it was very difficult at the first really 2 months to talk to them because they didn't understand what I was saying, especially being from Eastern Kentucky. That didn't help. And then I didn't understand any Spanish. So also, I put on there about the spending money. You don't get paid for about 15 days when you get there. So it's, you know, it's expensive to live there if you do anything. So I always tell people to make sure you bring money. So this is housing. That is not my bedroom. That's what my bedroom looked like. That picture there on the right is my complex. It looks very nice. I know everybody's like, oh, it looks like paradise. That was my bedroom. It was so small. Me and my roommate could barely be in there at the same time. So as far as housing goes, there's 4 apartments. Some are very nice, but they're very expensive. Some are a dump, but it's only like $70 a month. I chose kind of the middle ground. I had 5 other roommates, so there were 6 of us, 3 bedroom, 3 bath. The living room was about the size of the bedroom, so if we were all there together, it was miserable. It was absolutely terrible. It didn't really bother me. I lived in the woo, so after that I could handle anything. Housing rules, they're very strict. My brother came to visit, and he basically got patted down, background checked before he could even enter the gate. I mean, they don't let anybody in there that's not working for Disney, and if you do bring someone in, they have to be out of 11, or they will come pull them out. So it's very strict rules. However, it keeps everybody safe. So training, different jobs require different training, obviously. Mine was 4 stages. Each stage gets a bit more advanced on the job. You have 2 training days that aren't on the job. That's general Disney, you know, how to treat guests, what to do in an emergency, all that stuff. That's all general stuff. So you'll do 2 days off the job. And then the day before your first day on the job, you'll have a performance test. Mine was, they observed me for 30 minutes, and I took a 80-question test, I believe. So here's the uniforms I was wearing. Yes, they are. They're, like I said, they're horrendous. Nobody should ever have to wear those. But so this one here was my main store. That's my home location before I got transferred to the Food and Wine Festival, which was the different flags. That costume there was, I got employed 1 week for Magic Kingdom somewhere. Like I said, the deployment there, you might get your schedule on a Sunday night and you're going somewhere. Like you may be working somewhere really random, you don't get to choose, you can't get out of it, but it's the same rules, same registers as everywhere else. I actually enjoy being deployed because you got to meet a lot of different people, and you got to meet a lot of different managers and coordinators, which are your best friends when you do something wrong. So with this, kind of give a reality check. Obviously, any internship, any job, any school, there's the not so good. So like I said here on the good, the experience was unbelievable. It's going to give me a great job to put on my resume. The location, Orlando, Florida, doesn't really get any better than that. Met a lot of good co-workers, really enjoyed working with them. And then the not so good there. Sometimes, like on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I work 14 hours Christmas Eve, 15 hours Christmas Day. And New Year's Eve, I was there at 5 a.m. I worked from 5 to 5. So, yeah, it's not good. You don't get paid much. I mean, you're an intern, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they're giving you a chance, so I kind of look past it. Housing, I got frustrated with housing a few times just because they'll do random room checks, and like the smallest things, such as if your trash is not completely empty, you get fined $50. And like I said, you're not making enough money, and $50 really counts at the end of the week. So I filled a lot of housing inspections. I had a lot of dirty roommates, and I blame it all on them. The biggest one for me is if you really are interested, do everything you can to take your car with you. They have buses for everything, downtown, all work locations, the mall, grocery store, they'll pick you up. However, like for downtown, they'll only travel 3 times a day. So 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m. And if you're not there, you're not getting home. So, you know, it's very difficult, you know, if you need to go somewhere quick, if you're hungry, you know, there are things to walk to, but it's about a mile. Nearly everybody I was friends with did not have a car, and they really, really struggled. They were always texting me, you know, can I have a ride? Can I use your car? And I understood the frustration because my car actually broke down for about a month there. I didn't have the money to fix it, and it was miserable. Honestly, it was the worst part of the experience I had was not having a car. So overall, just some pictures of me and my coworkers, me and some of my friends. It was an experience. Some of us come from a long way to go to college. Some of us live right here in Athens, Princeton. So it's, for me, I live about 3.5, 4 hours from here. So I was used to being a little ways from home, but becoming more independent and learning on the fly on this job was taken to a whole new level. I mean, you know, you're talking 50,000 people, you know, in the park and mingling in your store, and they'll tell you, hey, you need to type this code in, you need to print this off, and you need to bring it to me in the next 5 minutes. So, you know, really learning where things are, learning names, you know, very important. The last point I put there, the creating opportunities. I'm in soccer, played here at Concord, that's what I want to do. I actually met a few professional soccer players down there that previously played professionally. Now that they retired, they're about 55, 60, and they're working at Disney. And I've become friends with them, you know, whether it's Facebook, texting, and, you know, I've actually got an opportunity to go back and work for a soccer club there because one of the guys I met there. So it's not just if you want to work at Disney, you know, this is what I'm going there because I want to live and work there forever. You know, there's people from all over the world, all over the United States that you're going to meet, and anytime they can help you out, they will, just like I would help them out if they asked me. Did anybody have any questions?
Well, thank you, Clint. Whoever wants to go next? You're ready to tell. Megan's making it next, so, all right. Good job. Interesting. While Megan is making her way, just to let her know. Yeah, she's logging in. Megan will be talking to us. She's doing her internship with Enterprise, and I think you're still there. So she'll be talking. And I know we've had several students that have done this Enterprise internship and have gone on as like that first job. In fact, we've got a couple of alums that are still really good there. So she'll be talking about that.
Okay, so like Dr. Robinette said, I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car in Princeton, West Virginia. It's right up the road, about 25, 30 minutes. I've been an intern there since June of last year. So it's been almost a year since I've been there. And I've definitely learned a lot working there. I'm a business major, I'm a senior, so a little bit of an overview of what I'm going to be going over is a little history about the company, what's important to us, our organizational structure, which is a very detailed, and what Enterprise offers, like product services that we offer, job responsibilities that I've been in contact with, and what we call our sales comparison report, and I'll go into detail a little bit about this, and problem solving skills and what I've taken from school and actually put into place with my internship. So a little background about Enterprise. It started out as executive leasing. It was founded by a man by the name of Jack Taylor in 1952. He had 7 cars, and he had an idea that people would fall in love with the idea that if something happened to their personal car, they would need a replacement vehicle. In 1969, he actually took a personal experience of his and put it into his company. That is where Enterprise, the name Enterprise came from. He served on an aircraft carrier in World War II, and it was called the USS Enterprise. It is a privately owned family business. However, recently in 2013, a non-Taylor family was appointed to the CEO position. Her name is Pam Nicholson. In my opinion, she was a very close family friend because, I mean, if you're gonna completely be about family with your company, you want somebody that you can trust. So I'm just taking a guess that she was very well trusted. In 2007, they actually expanded into, they took control over 2 other rental car companies by the name of National and Alamo. The reason that they kept the names, and you'll notice most of the time National and Alamo are in airports. So the reason that they kept those names is because not everybody likes Enterprise and how we do things. When you go to a local branch, you're going to get a home family-based environment. We want to know where you're going, why you're going. We want to get to know you because we want to build that connection. With National and Alamo and the airport locations, people just want to swipe their credit card. They want you to give them their keys and they want to be out the door. They don't want to make conversation. They're tired, they've been on a flight, and they're ready to go to their destination. Enterprise is the largest rental car company in the United States. We have 7,200 locations and in over 30 countries. So we're definitely very much a multinational company. Sadly, it wasn't long after I started Enterprise last summer that Jack Taylor passed away. It hurt a lot of people that had been there for a long time because it's a very family-oriented workplace. So Jack Taylor created what we call our founding values. This is what is important to us. You'll ask any Enterprise employee, we have to know these 8 founding values by heart. We are quizzed on them, we are tested on them. This is what we live by. So I'm not going to read them all because I'm sure you're all college level, so you can read. Yeah, like this is probably the most important thing that our company is based on. This is our organizational structure. Like I said, it's very detailed. Honestly, couldn't fit all of it in my slide, so I had to pick and choose what I wanted to list on here. Of course, at the top is our general manager. He oversees all of our operations within every part of our specific group. And then you have our controller. He takes care of our accounting that is discussed through like the whole entire group. Like our general manager, he normally is the one that, you know, actually reports to him. Underneath them are several different divisions. We have Enterprise offers truck rental, car sales. We have an HR department. We have risk managers. We have group rental, which is what I am considered under. And we have group fleet managers and big vehicle acquisitions managers. The reason that I went into detail with the group rental is because that's where I'm most familiar with. We have 3 different levels below the corporate level, which are considered area managers. They're level 3s. They pretty much deal with customer complaints and overseeing what's going on in the local branches within their area. We have 7 different areas. I work in area 1, which is several different branches, airport locations, things like that within our area. Next is our branch manager. This is the one that I have most contact with. This is the one that tells me what to do and how to do it. Then below him we have an assistant manager, and then I grouped the management assistants, management trainees, and interns all in the same group because we're pretty much the same. We just have different skills, like we have accomplished different tests that are required for us for promotion. So we all do the same thing. We're a big part of the team. We all work together. Also, we have service agents and drivers. Our service agents are the people who clean our cars and make sure all of the vehicles are vacuumed out, they smell good, they're clean on the outside, they have window washer fluid, everything that you would need on your trip. Our drivers are the people who, if we are busy in the office with customers, they kind of relieve us. So they are the ones that deliver cars to different companies that may need them, or if we needed to deliver a car to a customer, sometimes they actually pitch in and help if we aren't able to leave the office. So what Enterprise offers, our main focus is customer service. This is our most important value. It is probably the most stressed thing that we do with our job. We have to always promote great customer service because we are graded on it. Every month, at the end of the month, we have what is called a service quality index report that comes out. And what it is it, in our corporate office, they call 1 out of 5 customers and they survey them. When the customer gets a call, they have to answer completely satisfied with every single question, or we do not get the points for it. This is very much influential with us because if we do not make above 85, which is our group average, on this little index, we don't get promoted. We have to really work on our customer service skills. Like, it's a big no-no because if you do not provide the customer service that people need, they're not going to come back to you. And so it's really important with us. Another thing, I went into detail with the car rentals. It's kind of like the truck rental, but they have their own specific branch. Within car rental, you have different options of vehicles that you can rent. We have small to full-size sedans, small to large SUVs, small and large pickup trucks, 15 and 12 passenger vans, which Concord University uses a lot. They keep us running. Not only am I here for school, I'm here with work all the time. So we have to deliver those vans to them for their sports teams and everything else. We also offer cargo vans. The difference between car rentals and truck rentals is with the trucks that we offer at our local branch, our customers they don't have towing packages, so they're not allowed to tow anything. With the truck rentals, they are actually designed completely different, and they do have towing packages for people who need, to tow things. They also have box trucks for moving and things like that. We have a car sales team. What that consists of is once our cars in our fleet reach to so many miles, we pull them to be sold. They have to go through a 109-point inspection, and what that means is if they pass through the inspection, we sell the top 10% of our vehicles. What's so great about our car sales team is they offer a little bit more than a dealership would actually offer you. They don't haggle with you with the price. You're already pretty much getting a discounted price normally than you would off of a dealership. And so what you see is what you get. Also, you get a 12-month, 12,000-mile limited powertrain warranty with them. You get 12 months of free roadside assistance, and we have what is called our 7-day buyback agreement. So what that is, what attracts most customers to it is the fact that if you buy a car, you can finish all of the paperwork, but while you're driving it, you realize you don't like the gas mileage, you don't like the car. If you return this car within the 7 days, we will buy it back from you. You can trade it out to a different car for a different car, depending, there might be a price difference, but we take it back. No questions asked or anything. So that definitely attracts a lot of our customers to it. Our local one is, the closest one is in Charleston. They have their own lot and everything. You can find it on the site, what we offer and things like that. We also have several different additional packages that you can get with car rentals and truck rentals. We have what is called a damage waiver. It's $19.99 a day, and what it is it completely protects the rental car from a scratch. Not sure if you can see it, but a scratch this small to a total loss. So whether it be your fault or someone else, we protect it. We cover the damages. We take the hit. You don't. We also have personal accidental insurance, which is we protect the driver inside and outside of the vehicle, any type of medical expenses that may occur, up to $2,500, and any passengers inside the vehicle up to $10,000. We have roadside assistance, which protects our customers from if you were to break down towing expenses or anything like that. It also covers your keys. A lot of our keys are electronic, they're push start and things like that, so they cost a lot of money. Well over $200 each key costs. So if you were to lose it or lock it in your car, you'd be responsible for it. So like with everything else, if you take this roadside assistance, we take care of the cost for you. It's $3.99 a day. We have a supplemental liability protection, which covers our renters from any third-party accidents that may happen, and it's $11.99. We have what is called prepaid fuel. What that is the customer purchases the fuel, the amount of fuel that's in the car, and they can bring it back completely empty. And when they purchase it, it's at a discounted rate. We go to the nearest sheets, fill up the car, but right now we're offering that the customer paid $1.85 a gallon. So that's a pretty big discount when it comes to fuel. So every little bit helps. We do offer Sirius radio and GPS as well. Some of my job responsibilities that I had to deal with was, of course, great customer service. We, like I said before, we have to make an 85 on our report at the end of each month. Sales was a lot of what consisted of my internship, which was very challenging for me because it's been a long time since I was in a sales environment. So this was probably the most challenging, I would say, but it's paid off in the end. I've remained pretty well to the top of our sales comparison report within each month, and it's gave me a lot of different networking abilities and being able to connect with people that I don't see on a daily basis. So what we have is we're evaluated on what we call our TAR. So that is total additional revenue with every ticket that we sell on. And what goes into it is if a customer books a small car and you upgrade them to a bigger one, that goes into it. You have to sell your GPS, your damage waiver, all that stuff. So our goal is to sell at least one thing on every ticket. But of course, your ultimate goal is to sell everything on every ticket. What consists of the PowerPoints is the things listed on the previous slide, the damage waiver, PAI, SLP, and RAP. So it comes into a percentage, and however many PowerPoints that you have, it goes into your TAR as well. We're supposed to have at least 90 PowerPoints, and depending on how well you sell, the number rises. We have what is called our matrix. This is our ultimate goal every month to be placed on this. And it is the top 10% of home city, airport, and interns. Interns have their own matrix because there's not many of us and so we have to be evaluated on a different report. We can't be put in with the full time. I've made it twice. I've made second two times in the time I've been there on the matrix. And so it's a really big accomplishment because you get to go to the general manager's house. They have dinner. You get to talk to everybody, kind of sell yourself. It's a really good networking tactic that they offer. You have to do marketing. And what we do is we go out and visit new businesses to, promote what we offer and how we can save them money if they have their own fleet vehicles. Because most people don't take into consideration how much it costs to have the vehicles upkeep. You have to change your tires, you have to get oil changes, things like that. We have to log them every time we go to a new business or an account that already has an account with us. We have to load what we call boss calls, and that just gives a summary of who we talked to, what company we associated with, and if there was anything that we needed to do to make their experience better. Also had to perform callbacks, which is a list of people in our rental cars, and it shows us if they owe us money, regardless of whether, it's an insurance company that needs to do an extension, or if it's a retail or a personal use vehicle that, they haven't returned the car whenever they are supposed to and they're down money. So the most important thing that I've learned with doing callbacks is to always read the notes. It is the scariest thing to call someone and tell them one thing and it's completely wrong, because then they get upset, they yell at you, and then you have to go and fix your problem. So always read the notes, whether it's from the insurance company, the body shop, where their vehicle is located, or fellow employees in your office, because you're not going to be the only one that works it. Operations, dealing with fleet management is probably the toughest thing in our job. Determining if you're going to have enough cars for the day, or if you're going to have the correct cars, and also leadership. Me and a fellow intern have been considered conservation leaders, and so what we do is we take care of the recycling needs, cutting energy, and things like that. Also, we have to do a skills test and an MQI. I'm not going to go through each and everything, so like I said before, you guys can read it. These are our requirements in order to take both. We have to finish these in order to be promoted to an assistant manager or anything like that. This is our sales comparison report. I deleted all the names and things like that, but this is what we look at every day before we start our day. We clock in, we upload our report web, and we look at this. This is our Bible, as you can say, in rental car companies. It tells us how we're doing each day, and it ranks us from the top to the bottom. The last three that are listed are our group averages, so you definitely want to stay above the group average, but of course the closer you get to the top, the better you're going to be. Problem solving skills, supply and demand. Not having enough cars for customers is definitely a nightmare. For one, people don't realize why a rental car company does not have enough cars. Two, you never say that you don't have any cars, because it's going to send your customers to a competitor. So we have to go through the process of calling them, letting them know we're getting it as fast as we possibly can, and things like that. And we offer to deliver it to them, take them where they need to go, just so it doesn't disrupt their daily routine. We also have cash qualification problems. A lot of people have learned do not know the difference between a major credit card and a debit card. A major credit card is something that you actually have to get a line of credit. They do a credit check on you. Even though your debit card can run as credit, it's not a credit card. Just FYI.
You are doing a great job, but and you are very well versed in all this. But can you kind of go and do your ending, because we've still got 2 more presentations.
Yeah. Yeah. And relevance to course material. Thanks to Dr. Robinette, I feel like she did a lot with me getting this internship, because I actually applied for it when I was taking her business communications class. And I used my sample resume that she graded and my sample cover letter to upload in the application process. She also taught us that, to do research the company and things like that. So if I wouldn't have did that, I'd never done that before, and if I didn't do it, I probably wouldn't have got the internship, because with the phone interview, the first thing that they asked was, what do you know about our company? We can do, and then in conclusion, I recommend an internship because it offers hands-on learning experience. You may end up with a full-time position, and I recommend Enterprise because they provide great opportunities for career growth, training, compensation, and benefits. Does anybody have any questions?
Sorry to rush you up there, and as you can see, she's very well versed in her company, which that's what they're looking for. So, and again, I encourage you, if you are interested in Enterprise, talk to Megan. And I know it's been a good company for several of our graduates over the years. So, and anybody that wants to travel, it's obviously very multi-international. So, that way, Megan, I'm gonna hand you this. Sorry, I rushed you up. You can give it to me. Okay, now we have, Kaylee's gonna join us. She did an accounting internship, so those of you in accounting that are needing those 150 hours or something, be sure and do that. So, she'll share with us.
So I did my internship at Hester & Campbell in Beckley, West Virginia. It started in January and I'll finish up this week. It was overseen by Jeff Mullahan. I've known him for a few years. He is actually the neighbor of my best friend. He was able to coordinate it with the guys in Huntington and get me in there. It was paid and I did about 20 hours a week. I worked with a little bit of everybody in the office. They all helped me and trained me on different aspects of what they were doing. About Hester & Campbell, there's 3 locations. There's one in Huntington. It opened up in 1986. And then in 2000, they acquired Persinger & Company in Beckley, and that's where our Beckley office came from. And then in 2012, they opened up a Lewisburg office. Our main services are small business accounting. We do audits, tax prep and planning, and payroll. They do a lot of other things like business valuation. The firm is also a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the West Virginia Society of Certified Public Accountants. They employ about 30 people, and of those 30 people, 19 of them are CPAs, so I felt like I was in a very knowledgeable environment. What I did, when I first got there, I started with audit confirmations. There was confirmations coming in and out of the mail, and I was updating spreadsheets on who'd replied, who hadn't replied, and any exceptions, like they didn't agree on the amount, or maybe we got a return address. I then worked up on some write-up, and for that, they would give me clients' bank statements, and then I would prepare journal entries off of that, and then make a bank rec. With QuickBooks, we were switching programs. When I first got there, we were using CSA, which is Creative Solutions Accounting, and they were switching over into QuickBooks. So I had to create files in QuickBooks for all of our clients, set up their chart of accounts, their payroll, their employees, make sure all the numbers were right. I set it up in February, and I really didn't get to know if everything was right up until this last week when we started doing quarterlies again. So far, so good. Quarterly taxes, I did some of those. Those were really rough starting out. I was really scared because I had no idea what I was doing. Those kind of things. Federal return, there's West Virginia withholding, there's a SUBA, there's business and occupation taxes that get paid. Where it was year end in January, we are also preparing the 940, which is annual FUTA, W-2s and 1099s. There's W-3s that go W-2s to give a summary of everything that's in there. There's like a 1096 that goes with all the 1099s to summarize those. And then we were in tax season, starting in February. I think I did about 40 personal returns. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it took a lot of time because when you do them, you're scanning all their documents, you're inputting them into the computer. Plus, I was getting help because there was things I didn't know. After everything was inputted, I had to go back and do research on what they had last year, what they had this year, and if they had a W-2 last year and they didn't have it this year, we wanted to know why, what had changed in their financial stuff. So we had to call them and get questions, and once the questions were asked, they would give me back my answers, and I would finish the return. I'd print a 2-year summary, and it summarized their finances from 2015 to 2016, and I had to take all my work papers and tie them into that summary. It was a good way to double check myself and make sure I hadn't screwed up. After prepping them, they went into process, and once they got processed, we were getting our copy, getting their copy ready to go out, making sure the 8879 was ready to be signed, and getting it back to them. Relevant coursework, I felt like principles was relevant when I was setting up the charts of accounts, just knowing about contra assets and contra liabilities and how they affect the financial statements. It was important when I was setting up the charts of accounts so I didn't screw those up. And then intermediate was important because of the journal entries that I did in there as a project. I felt it really helped me when I was prepping stuff. And then tax. Tax was so important. I would have been completely lost had I not had that class going into my internship. Challenges, I struggled learning the software because there's software for everything, plus we were in the midst of switching off software. The icon on the left was the CSA, and then QuickBooks. And then engagement is an electronic thing, and it has electronic binders, and everything we've done, all our work papers and stuff are scanned into it so we can always reference back to it. I struggle with quarterlies because I really had no clue what I was doing, and I screwed up a lot. It took a lot of learning to get those down, but I've been doing them this past week and been smooth so far. And the stress, I went in knowing there's going to be a learning curve. I didn't expect it to be as great as it was. So I kind of had to sit back and say, like, hey, you're not going to know it all this week. You're not going to know it next week. It's going to take time. And I had to accept that I didn't know it all. Any questions? Maybe. I might get hired.
Maybe they're hoping that this
I'm waiting on
turns into a job. It's her supervisor's wanting to hire her, but she, talk to the partners in Huntington. Our final presenter is Kayla Trent. She also, I know it's about 12 o'clock. If you can stay for a few minutes, that's great. If you have to go, that we totally understand. Kayla also did an accounting internship. Hey, Kaylee's was at a bigger firm, and Kayla was with a single CPA, so I think she can share a little bit different challenges with you. And even though these were both accounting internships, keep in mind whether it's a small finance firm or a single business, you still encounter those. And Kaylee's throwing her fan everywhere, so. So we'll let her get started there. And see, you all can get one of these neat little fans if you do the internship.
I thought it was free.
You can be whatever you like doing today. So.
My name is Kayla Trent. I'm doing my presentation on my tax internship I did this spring. I did my tax internship with Linda J. Alice. She's a CPA in Princeton, West Virginia. Like Dr. Robinette said, she is actually the only CPA there. She actually had help. A brilliant woman. She knew everything about it, but she wasn't certified. So Linda had to do most of the tax returns. There was only 2 or 3 employees. It was me, Linda, Sandy, and then Linda's husband would come in and help sometimes because it was really crazy. Really all that she did, especially when I was there, is income tax returns and monthly payroll. She had a ton of income tax returns, individuals, business tax returns, anything you can think of. And I just thought, I forgot to mention, she actually graduated from Concord University, which I thought was an awesome experience just to kind of see what you can do after you graduate, especially, I mean, it's the same college, so it was kind of awesome to see what she had done with her degree and what she was capable of. It was inspiring to see. And the culture where it was a small firm was more, it was quiet, kind of serious. You know, you came in, you did what you were supposed to, kind of just communicated about issues that may have gone wrong, but you didn't really socialize a lot, especially because they were crunching numbers constantly. I would ask them questions, and that's about all I would do to bother them because I didn't want to mess up. And then monthly payroll, they did local businesses, literally businesses that are down the street from where they are. So I thought it was kind of cool to see the community that they helped continue doing their businesses and stuff. Yeah. Income tax returns, I usually just reviewed the income tax returns. Linda would prepare them and print them out, and then I would take all the client documentation and information and make sure that checked with the organizer they had. And then once you saw everything on the organizer, you would take their tax returns and you would make sure that everything was put into the right place, because even if the numbers are right, if it's on the wrong line, it can really affect someone's taxes and how much they may owe or not owe. So it was really important that we make sure that when everything crossed over, you know, it was on the right line, that it wasn't just the right numbers. And 2 of the things I saw a lot at Ms. Alvis's office was the itemized deductions. Was something a lot of people around here do. Yeah, because for one, medical expenses, the new Obamacare stuff, it really messed with a lot of the elderly. They had, I mean, they would have several different types of insurance, and they would go travel from it and everything. So itemized deductions, state income tax, that was one we had a lot of issue with because it wasn't just state income tax that they had withheld, but it was also state income tax that they may have had to pay that was due with the return. And that didn't carry over a lot, so that was something we really had to look at and make sure. And then the Schedule M, that was important for the West Virginia tax return, had to do with senior citizen deductions. We then had to do with, I saw a lot of dividends where they would have, certain dividends were state exempt, so maybe they didn't have to be taxed in West Virginia, but they would have to be taxed in federal, so you would have to do adjustments there. And then payroll taxes. I didn't get to do a lot of the payroll tax stuff, mainly when I first started, right before tax season got big. But they had their monthly clients, so I got to work on about 3 or 4 of them. And first we would scan all their check stubs and receipts, and then we would do their bank reconciliations to make sure that they weren't overspending. And then we would prepare up the payroll, and Linda would make out their payroll taxes. And their clients, especially because this was such a small firm, I feel like clients was one of the most important aspects to their firm, because without clients, they have no work. And clients would come in, everyone knew Linda, everyone knew Sandy. And if they were free, they would come up there and they would ask them about their family. They would ask them how they were doing. They would ask them what was going on with their lives. So they were very, very connected with their community, and they thought they were very, very important. And I really respected that. I thought that was an awesome thing. They had over 400 clients just for personal income taxes, and a lot of them were older, so they were medical stuff and whatnot, spouses dying, that kind of thing. And then I had a hard time at first explaining to the clients, because when they would come to the front, I'd have to go out there and hand them the return, explain to them what they need, and we've got the stuff they may owe for their tax returns, their estimated payments, things they need to sign like the 8879 so that we could e-file. And at first, I had an understanding, but not enough to explain to them in a way they understood. So it took me a lot of time, asking Linda and Sandy and trying to determine a way that I could understand it before I was able to explain clearly and in a way that they knew what they needed to do after they took their tax return home. So I thought that was really important too, because if they don't know what they need to do, then we're not helping completely, we're not finishing the job, so. Questions?
All right, well, we appreciate it, Kayla. And just give me 2 seconds. One thing I noticed out of all of them, notice how they all focused on you had to have good customer service and so forth. So you gotta be good to your clients wherever you are. So again, I encourage you, if you're interested in internship, please see me or one of your advisors. Good luck last week of classes and exams, and for those seniors, we look forward to seeing you on May 6th for graduation. So enjoy. And one last thing, share with your friends. You all should be getting emails reminding you to do the course evaluations. Everything's online now. So I encourage you, make sure you are going online and completing all your course evaluations. Constructive comments are most helpful. So be sure and do that, and tell everybody they're out there for all your classes. And enjoy the rest of the week.